All right, everyone, welcome back to the Abundance Formula podcast. So, today is going to be the first episode in the little mini series that I'm going to be calling Path to Pro. If you are new to this podcast, then what that is in 2015 was the last year that I competed in the bikini division of bodybuilding, and I was very close to earning my pro card and becoming a professional athlete. But at that point, my husband and I were going to start trying to have kids. And it's a good thing we started then because we knew we might have some trouble because it had taken previous family members of his a long time to have kids and it was hard for them. And so we kind of didn't want to wait too long. So luckily we did get started then because it did take us basically a couple years almost with each child to get pregnant and have our children. So paused my pursuit of becoming a professional athlete for, basically whatever that is, 2015 to now, 2000, almost 24. So, but then this year, and I never knew if I was going to go back to competing again or not. I really wanted to wait until it really felt right, if it ever did. And so this year, after my mom competed at one of her Pittsburgh shows, I'm not sure what it was, but I woke up one morning and it just was like God said, okay, now's the time. Go for it. And just everything changed. Up to that point, I thought like, I don't even have time to do this right now. I've got a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. And at that point I had it was a 4-year-old and 1.5-year-old. And I just thought, I don't really have time to do this. But it was so interesting to me that when all of a sudden I got the revelation, like it's time again, then it's like I had this palpable identity shift. And by the next day I was, weight training 5 and 6 days a week, doing cardio 6 days a week for 35 minutes, 30 to 35 minutes, and was implementing that pretty much flawlessly. And it was just like a decision that, okay, this is now the goal. This is now the choice. And we're doing this. And I, made the shift. And so just started kind of living like I was, okay, I'm a professional athlete. So how would I make this happen in this current life state if I'm a professional athlete? So I started just living from as if I was a professional athlete. I'm not sure if you guys have heard that saying, live as if. And then that's how you kind of make your dream come about, when you live in the present as if you're already that thing or already that future version of you that has the dream, and you start making decisions from there. So all of that to tell you that this little series called Path to Pro, I wanted to create this series. It'll be on YouTube besides this podcast. Podcast is also on YouTube, but it'll be on a separate YouTube that I'll be sharing with you guys. But on here as well as a little mini series to kind of take you on the journey with me, because I think so many times, I know me personally, when you look at somebody who has, a future that you aspire for yourself, or is, doing something extraordinary, or has pursued the kind of dream that you want to pursue, and they're in that success point, they've reached it, they've done a lot with that. It's like I like personally to see a lot of what that journey looked like, because I know that there was so much hard work that went into that, so many obstacles, so many variables, so much mess. And I would love to actually get to hear real life stories of the journey personally. And so I thought, I want to do that. I want people who follow this podcast dedicatedly and follow me on social media to get to be a part of that journey, and it be a source of inspiration for any of you who have big dreams or aspirations, whether that's athletically or professionally. And maybe you do have kids, maybe you are, working full time, maybe you are a wife or a husband and you're busy and you just wonder if you can really do and have all the things and what that could look like. And so I want my story and my path to just be an example of that, and us to laugh along the way and, maybe cry along the way and grow along the way together. And so you guys can just have insight into what my personal journeys look like, and I hope it could inspire you guys to do the same thing. So this is the first episode. So what I thought for this episode of the Path to Pro is just showing you I'm about to start my official 12-week prep with one of the best coaches in the entire bodybuilding industry, Kim Oddo. I mentioned him a couple episodes ago that I'm training with him, invested with him as a coach to take me all the way. So we officially start my first 12-week prep. We have our next coaching called January 9. So that's when he'll actually have sent me his plan for me, and we'll go over all that and go from there. So prior to this point, I thought, well, I'll share with you what I've been doing for off season, and then I want to tell you a funny story. So what off seasons look like. Oh, and the show that I'm going to do. So it's been so many years, I need to requalify to compete at the national level. I was competing nationally and with international competition prior. So I've had to requalify because it's been so many years. So that means I got to do a state/regional show. So my show that we've chosen is the NPC Border Clash. It's happening March 30 2024, and that's in Orlando, Florida. Kim will be there, which is one of the incentives for me doing it there. My mom has done this show. She did it last year, I believe. She said it was well run, so she's familiar with the area. So mom and I are definitely going to go, and we're just going to take the girls with us, at least as our insured fail safe, because I'm sure my husband will have to work. And honestly, I don't want him to take off work for just a qualifier show. I'd rather him take off work for, like one of the national level shows where I really might earn the pro card. That would be more worthwhile to me. So I'm just planning on taking the girls with us, and my mom will help me with any kind of hair, makeup, and watch the kids for me while I do the show. The girls have come with us before when I've taken them for my mom's shows when I was helping her with hair and makeup and stuff, and they absolutely loved it. So that's the plan there. So again, just showing you what it's going to look like, kind of multitasking this whole thing, making it happen, not having to make my husband take off work, not having to hire babysitters. I'm just going to bring them with me, and we're going to try to make them a part of this whole journey. And that's kind of my goal, is just like I've done with my weightlifting stuff, getting them started so young, being accustomed to like, this is kind of a thing mom does, that they can love it and enjoy coming with me, and it not be this thing where I have to not be able to be a present mom. I can be the mom that has the kids that want to come with us and like love watching their mom, be on stage and come with me to my professional shows and get to travel and see things. And of course, my husband as well, right? Especially when it's professionally, because you can go some really epic places. And so I'm just, that's part of what I personally want, is to be able to be a mom and a professional athlete and bring my kids with me along for that journey. So, and my family. So that's the plan at this time. So that's the 12-week prep will start January 9. But so what off season has looked like? So I have been lifting 6 days a week. Mom and I crack up, our goal is mission muscle, because at this point, back from before I was competing, like bikini has a lot more muscle mass, which I personally love. I love all that. I love that shape. So mission muscle, because for me, that's my hardest thing, is I have a really fast metabolism, which is great for leaning out, but you really have to have extra calories to build those muscles up. So that's been my hardest thing, even in the past, is like, how much do I eat? But of clean, so I'm not gaining fat or fluff, but that I have enough to put on this extra muscle that I want. So what I was able to do, since mom trained with Kim last year, she had an off-season plan that she was implementing. And so I kind of used that as a guide, but I've tweaked it a little bit, because obviously she's 61, I'm 34. So I know our metabolisms are different. So I have increased some of the serving sizes of some things and kind of played with that. And then I've taken one free day a week nutritionally. So just if I was craving something, could have it that day. It really ends up being just a meal most of the time, but I kind of give myself one free day. And that also has helped me keep easy sanity through the holidays and through, because I'll be in hard prep all next year. And so it's just kind of kept me on track, and I think has really worked for me, and just given me an extra boost of calories one day to put on muscle. I've really built a lot of great muscle this off season. I've been super proud of that. My shoulders, my back, especially upper body, something I've really been working on, because I kind of have a straight waist. I can create that illusion of the hourglass figure through the posing, but when you have really good capped shoulders and a wider back, that helps those of you who don't have naturally like that have wider hips. I don't really have wide hips, so it's harder for me to have, and I don't have big boobs. I'm standing up for the A cuppers too, right? So I have to build more size there to create this, upper body waist ratio that they're looking for in this sport. So I've been lifting that many days. I've been lifting basically 2 solid leg days a week, sometimes throwing in a third, and then 2 shoulder days and a back day. And then, like I said, on that 6th day, trying to throw in maybe a mix of glutes and shoulders a little bit if I'm not too sore. After my first coaching call with Kim, which was a couple weeks ago, I asked him what he recommended my split be for the rest of this off season before he and I start together. And he wanted me to switch it to 3 solid, just glute specific days, and then 2 solid shoulder days and 1 back day. So that's what he recommended. And he was fine with the 30 to 35 minutes of cardio, which I do basically varying incline and speed on the treadmill. When it wasn't so cold, I was doing walks outside with the girls with my stroller, them in the stroller through our hilly neighborhood. But it's pretty much too cold to do that now. So I really just do it first thing in the morning on the treadmill. So that's kind of what I've been doing, and it's worked really well so far. I'm very excited to see, now that he's seen my pictures and has all my information and everything, like what he actually has me do for my age and all that stuff. Because like I said, I was totally just going off of what my mom had, which was at least a guide, because even with that, it was way more fats and things than I've ever tried for myself, and it's worked really well. So I'm just really excited to learn from him and learn my body more from somebody who's got 25 years of experience and tons of Olympians and over 350 professional athletes and all this great experience under his belt. I can't wait to learn from that. So that's so far what this off season's looked like. Now, the funny story I want to tell you. So again, this is going back to, I want you guys just to see yourself at all in my journey and just know, like, if you're feeling like this pursuit of an extraordinary life and abundance and stuff is like really messy or chaotic or whatever, I want you to know you're not alone. So for me to get all this done, for me to be able to lift 6 days a week and doing all of this as a mom of 2 girls, I work at my practitioner job Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Those can end up being, 9 to 10 hour days by the time I get home. And then I oftentimes even train some people as soon as I get home. So it really turns into potentially 10 to 12 hour days. Then Tuesday, Thursdays, I work from home and train people and have my girls. And basically I'll train people for a couple hour increments all throughout the day. And then there's a couple hours in between that I just focus on the girls and we play and we do things or we get errands done. And they're just very full, busy days. And so the best place that I have found to consistently make this happen and it not be on my plate to worry about, and I can especially then focus on those Tuesday, Thursdays, like on the girls and just get to playing with them and being really intentional, or same thing on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, get the last clients done and then can just really focus on building forts and playing with them in the evening and not be thinking about this other stuff that I've got to fit in. So that requires me to basically get up at 4:30 or 5 a.m., depending on if it's a Tuesday, Thursday, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday thing, because I have some clients in the mornings on Tuesday, Thursdays. So 4:30 or 5 a.m., started the cardio by 5 a.m. or 5:30 if it's my 5 a.m. day, and do the 30 minutes and then the workout from 6 to 7, and then launch either into clients or getting Malia's stuff ready for school and all of the things, right? And myself ready for work and food prepped for work and all the things. So here's the funny thing. So for the morning cardio workout situation, so I've got a 2-year-old, and I don't know if anybody else out there has 2-year-olds, but she will not stay in her room. Like, she keeps coming out, and she has since March. She's been out of her crib since March, and she won't stay in her room. So I literally haven't slept through the night since March. Every night I'm either taking her back to her room 1 to 2 times a night, and then I'll be too exhausted to do that. So then for the next couple weeks or so, I'll just sleep in their room with them to keep her in there. And then I'll get some energy back and feel bad because I want to go sleep with my husband in my bed. And so then I'll do that dance again. And it just feels like musical chairs all night long. Well, she knows when I get up from her, like she'll maybe sleep 10 minutes, 15 minutes, sometimes 20, but it's like she senses when I'm not there with her anymore and she'll get up. So she's usually up once a night now, and it tends to be around 3 a.m. and she'll want like a chocolate milk or something just to get her back to sleep quick. And so that being that I get up very soon after that, she's not as deeply asleep. So what started to happen was she would get up as soon as I'd get up at 4:30 or 5, and I would keep all the lights off because my idea was I don't want them to know I'm up. I want them to think I'm asleep and to stay, just be as black as possible and them just not know. Well, what they do though is then they go into our room, or Sailor rather, Malia sleeps good. But she'll go into our room and wake Helen up, but want me. And so then he'll end up coming downstairs in his robe with Malia or Sailor. And then it causes a disruption in his sleep. And he's the type where he needs, like, he can't, if he gets woke up, then he's up. He can't go right back to sleep. I can be woke up by anything and just go right back to sleep instantly. No trouble. But I know there's plenty of people that are like that. If they end up getting woke up, they just can't get back to sleep and then they have to be up. So that was causing issue with us because then he was getting frustrated that Sailor was coming, waking him up. And then he's now up at 4:30 in the morning and he's got to go to work for a full day and he needs more sleep. And he's kind of one of those people, he needs his full night's rest. Like, I don't really need very much sleep. I try to get what I need, good amount of hours sleep technically because I know that's healthy, but I don't really need a lot. I can really run hard even if I don't have much, but he needs his full beauty rest. So we had kind of some controversy there where he's like, you don't need to be doing this. Like, she needs her sleep. I need my sleep, all this stuff. And I'm like, well, I can't not pursue my dreams because everybody else is, needs their sleep. Right. So, and specifically Sailor more. So I get that Kellen needs his sleep to go to work. So we had to figure out how can we do this? So the funny part of this is, so what I've arrived to is instead of trying to keep everything as black as possible, so if she were to wake up, she doesn't see any kind of silhouette of light outside her door, is I literally have lights leading her to me downstairs so she won't go wake Helen up. So if she comes out, she walks into the hall, and before getting to our room, she can see up the hall. I've turned the Christmas tree on, so the Christmas lights are on, and I turn the lamp on in the kitchen, and then I've got the garland lights on down the stairways, like literally lights leading her to me on the treadmill downstairs. And it's so funny because it has worked. Like she'll wake up, asleep with her hair messy and her thumb in her mouth, and she'll walk, and as soon as she gets to our room, she looks to the side and she sees the Christmas lights are on. So then she follows that and she sees the lamp, and then she sees the baby gate is open, and then the garland is lit up down the stairs, and she just follows it down, and then she'll just show up in the doorway at the treadmill and be to me, and she doesn't wake daddy up. So that's been the play with that. And then Malia does the same thing. If she gets up early for any reason because Sailors woke her up, then they both just kind of follow the lights and they find me downstairs. And so then what I've planned for is like, I've pre-got they always have their chocolate milk in the morning and watch a show. And so if Sailor gets up, I've already pre-prepped her chocolate milk bottle. So then when she gets up and she finds me, then I pause the treadmill for a minute, I hop off, I get her bottle, and I'll try to get her set up with the show downstairs. Sometimes she'll watch the full show and I'll get to finish the cardio hands-free. Most of the time she doesn't. She may sit there for 5 or 10 minutes and then she comes to me wanting me to hold her. And so I've learned I can't just hold her and walk on the treadmill like free-handed. It's too awkward. So I've just have the baby hiking backpack now just at the ready. And so if she starts giving me trouble, like wanting to be with me on the treadmill, then I'll just put her butt in the backpack and I start walking on the treadmill with the backpack. And of course she falls dead asleep in it because she shouldn't be up this early. And so that's how I've made it happen. She always does really good for the weightlifting because I've lifted weights a lot with her when she was an infant. And so she likes to just sit and watch, or they'll build forts in the corner with mats and stuff like that. But she likes the idea of the treadmill and wants to be on it with me. So that's been more of a struggle. But so that's the messiness of what this looks like, you guys. Like, it's not just easy. Oh, yay, she just can get up early and knock out her cardio and all the things hands-free. It's like, no, usually I've had to guide my children down to me via lights so they can find me by 5:15, and then I carry her on my back in a baby backpack to get that done. And then I've got her in there building mat forts and stuff like while I'm lifting weights. And so that's kind of what it looks like. It's a mess. It feels chaotic in my head, but at the same time, I feel good about it because we've reached this happy medium of, okay, I should not be able to pursue my dreams because we've got a 2-year-old that's got her sleep schedule, not figured out yet. And at the end of the day for her, like, she's not in pre-K right now. So, and even if she was, that's how Malia started sleeping through the night, is ultimately she got too tired to be pulling that game in the night. She got too tired having stuff that she had to go do if she hasn't rested properly up to that point. And so she started just sleeping through the night finally. And that's what Sailor, I know, will do. And she's even started to do that sometimes every now and then. If she's woke up early quite a few days in a row, she'll take an early nap that day. She's home with her babysitters and Gigi and whatever. And so she can sleep whenever she wants to. But she ends up getting kind of tired from that routine. So then towards the end of the week, she might start sleeping in more because her body needs it. So her clock's going to get sorted out. I'm not going to derail my life's dreams waiting for that to happen. Like, I'm just going to set a standard and she's going to adapt to it. Like, this is how I get to invest in myself, because otherwise throughout the rest of the day, I'm working, I'm taking care of them, and there's really no me time anywhere the rest of the day. And I have figured that out, and I've become more irritable and like bitter if I don't make that time for myself in the morning and be really guarded around that. And that's something that Kellen and I had to talk about. My husband and I had to talk about. It's something you guys might need to talk about. Like, I need this for me. Like, I don't get this anywhere else in the day ever. I'm going. This is something I need to perform the best for all of you. How can we make this work? And so you have to have those conversations, and you should, and you can, and it can have an outcome that works. And you got to get creative. You got to figure stuff out. You got to try having the bottles prepped. This is just my example, like having the things prepped so that you can make it happen, even if it's not ideal how you would prefer, even if it makes it harder. Obviously, cardio is easier without a 27-pound toddler on my back doing it, but it's got to get done, So that's just kind of a little bit of one story I wanted to share of how it looks over here, getting this done, because, when people maybe catch this podcast down the road and I'm a professional athlete, they're just, people will miss that side of things and just be like, oh, maybe it came easier. They had all the help. They had all the people. Their kids slept great. They had all the stuff, all the support. They didn't have too much to do, whatever. And that's just really never true from anybody who's done something extraordinary or hit some kind of success goal that they pursued. Like, everybody's going through these hard things and having to navigate them, but whether people are sharing them, that's the difference. So that's kind of my goal with this whole little mini series, is to be sharing those funny stories along the way and letting you guys know, like, on the outside, say watching on Instagram or wherever, it may just be like, look like this is all coming easy to me and I'm just always energized and looking and feeling great. And that's not the case. I'm definitely exhausted, but I feel good even in that, because I'm proving to both myself and other people that you can do all the things. You can, but you have to be extremely intentional about it. I've gotten extremely intentional, as I talked about on past episodes, with my schedule, my time blocking, so that I have time for all the things I want to do, my business, my family, myself, my own goals, all those things I'm intentional about. And then even in being really intentional, then there's funny stuff like this that happens along the way where you just still got to figure out how to make it work. And you will, when that's just like, it's a non-negotiable that it's happening. It's your new identity. This is who you are, somebody who figures this out to still get where you want to go. And so I just hope that that can help you guys and make you laugh and feel like you can relate to somebody, that you're not alone, and feeling like, golly, this whole pursuit of this dream goal that I've got is so messy and it feels so chaotic and I feel so tired. Is somebody doing this better than me? And I want to tell you, I don't think so. I think everybody's going through it like this. They just may not be sharing it. So we're sharing it all here on the podcast, and I'm excited to keep you guys posted about all the new things that I'm learning on the along the way, internally, externally. Let you guys watch me change as a person and in my physique and all of that along this journey, and just take y'all on the ride with me. So hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Merry Christmas. Hope you have a great rest of your holiday season, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.